Hello, in this demo, I will be introducing you to one of the many tools you will be using throughout your stay in the University of Ghana. I will in this demo introduce you to the Sakai Learning Management System. The Sakai Learning Management System is simply a virtual classroom or a virtual learning environment, and this is where you will undertake most of your coursework, such as downloading course materials, submitting assignments, taking your tests and quizzes, and interacting with your lecturers and course mates. Without wasting much time, let's get right to it. First, I'd like us to look at some terminologies. The first terminology we'll look at is sites. Site refers to the dedicated web page or web pages for the courses you are taking in a particular semester. So for example, in this semester, you'll be taking a course UGRC 110. UGRC 110 has its own page with its own set of tools that you can use to navigate around. So we can refer to UGRC 110 as a course site on Sakai. The next term we'll look at is tools. Tools refer to a set of menus used to navigate to various parts of a course site. So, now that we have looked at the terminologies we'll be using, let's head to the outline for this demo. First, we'll look at what Sakai is, which I explained a while ago. Next, we'll look at how to access the Sakai Learning Management System. We'll take a look at the Sakai workspace. This is where we'll see where to find what on the Sakai page. Then we'll look at Sakai tools. We'll take each tool and talk about it into details. I'll demonstrate to you how to use some of the tools, or let me say most of the tools that you need for your coursework throughout your stay in the University of Ghana. So some of those tools would be the profile tool, membership tool, announcements tool. We'll also look at the overview tool. For the next three tools, I would refer you to some videos recorded earlier. So for the resources tool, I'll refer you to demo 002, and the link is right here. You can use that link to access that video. Same for the assignments tool. I'll refer you to demo 001 using the link provided here. And for the Dropbox tool, I'll as well refer you to demo 001. So these videos explain into details these tools. Then we'll look at the test and quizzes tool, the gradebook, the forum, chat room, email, and lessons tool. Now, let's take the first item on our list, accessing Sakai Learning Management System. To access the Sakai Learning Management System, you need a browser since it's a web-based platform. So you open your browser. So I've opened my browser. Then I will navigate, or I'll go to the University of Ghana website by typing the address for the website, ug.edu.gh. So this takes me to the University of Ghana website. I'll then scroll down and click on this link, Sakai LMS. Clicking on this link takes me to the Sakai web page. So this is one way. Another way, you can directly type in the address of the Sakai website. So I can say sakai.ug.edu.gh. Then I hit enter. This takes me to the same page. From here, you enter your student ID and PIN provided on your admission letter. So I enter the ID and the PIN, then I hit the login page. So this is how to access the Sakai web page or the Sakai learning management system. Next, we'll look at the various parts of the Sakai web page. Overview of Sakai learning management systems workspace. On this page, I'm going to show you how to navigate around, where to find what. And at this point, I'm going to show you two different versions. So I'll show you the desktop version, which we are seeing right now. Then I'll also show you the mobile version. So when you're using your mobile phone, the interface looks a little different. So I'll show you both so you can easily find your way around. So first, let's look at the desktop screen or the desktop version. From the right corner here, you have your accounts. So when you open your account menu, you have some useful links over here. You have the logout tutorial and other links. So we'll look at the tutorial link. So we'll use that to show us how to find our way around. So first, I defined Sakai earlier. So it says, well, Sakai is a flexible learning management system for hosting sites that support learning, teaching, research, and collaboration. So we are going to look at some basics. So first, site navigation. So I explain what sites are. So they say, well, your sites are displayed as links across the top, starting with your own private home. So this is your home. I'll explain what it is and what you can do with it. So it says, well, home gives you an overview of the activity in your sites and allows you to personalize your Sakai experience. So we'll come back and look at it into detail. Then the sites button opens your sites drawer, which displays links to all of your visible sites. So I explained sites earlier. I said the sites refer to what the courses you are taking for every semester. And in this sites drawer, sites are organized by term of category. So in this case, the sites will be organized by your academic year and the semester. So it will be grouped by semester and academic year. So we'll look at that briefly in a short while. Then we have your tools. The tools for the current sites appear in the left menu. Each tool serves a different function, such as delivering content, providing assessment, or facilitating collaboration. So this is what you'll be using to navigate around the various how do I call it, the various pages for each course site. Or in other words, let me say you will use these tools to navigate to the various parts of the Sakai course sites. We have the tool name, so every tool you select, you see the tool name up here. So right now we are on the overview tool, so you see the tool name up here. Okay, let's move on. Then we have the help. So Sakai provides help information about each feature. So when you select each feature, you can click the help button and it will explain to you what that feature or tool can be used for. Then finally, we are back to the account menu. It contains quick links to personal tasks such as managing your account and logging out of your site. Talking about logging out, I would like to remind you that anytime you log into your Sakai page, remember to always log out. Always log out of your page. You can also access the help tool here by clicking on it. So when you select the help tool, it opens up the help page where you can take your time and look through all the features for yourself into details. Okay, so let's take what we looked at one after the other. Let's take the sites button over here. Now, as explained earlier, the sites button gives you a list of the courses you have registered for a particular semester. So the courses will be listed, as I said earlier, by semester. So semester 1, and by the academic year, which is here 18-19 academic year. So for every semester you see the list. So the list grows as you progress throughout your levels. So you can go to a course site. So these are course sites. So Cisco 101 is a course site. Sakai 101 is also a course site. So you can access a course site by clicking on it, and that site is loaded for you. So at this stage, I'm sure you now get what a site is. So before we go into a course site, I want to explain a little more over here. Now, the tab over here has a purpose. So by default, the home tab is presented, or the home site is presented to you. So always every user has a home site with a set of tools that you can use. We'll look at them in a little while. Now, as I explained earlier, when you go to sites, as you progress, the list of courses grows. So you may sometimes find it difficult locating your course. So to solve that problem, you can make courses your favorite courses. So in this case, when you make a course site your favorite, it will appear up here, so that anytime you log into Sakai, you have quick access to those sites. So how do you make a course or a site a favorite site? So I'll click on the site, then you see the stars located beside the course codes. So I'll click on this to highlight it or to select it. I'll click on this also, and maybe I want to make this one also a favorite. So you see, when I hover over it, you see it says what, add BBB to favorites. So I select it. After doing that, I close it. Now watch what is going to happen. You see that some courses, the courses we just selected, will appear up here. So I'll hit reload. So after reloading, they should appear up there. So now you see these courses are appearing up here. Anytime I log in, I don't have to go to sites and go through the long list of course sites. I just have to click on my favorite courses. So what if you move to the next semester and you want to remove those courses from your favorites and add the new courses for your new semester? So I advise that after every semester you remove the previous semester's courses up here and add the new ones. So how do you remove this and add other ones? So I go to sites. All I have to do is click to remove. So I click on the star. So you see now the color has changed. So I'll do that again. So let me remove this too. So I'll remove this and this. I close and reload the page. So you realize that the two that I selected would be taken off. So now you can see that those two courses have been taken off. So that is how to add and remove courses from your favorites site. So now the next thing we are supposed to look at is Sakai tools. So we are going to take some of the tools one after the other and see how to use them into detail. So the first tool we'll look at is the overview tool. But before that, I'd like to add that every course site comes with its own set of tools. So for example, if I want to move to Cisco 101, which is a course site, I click on it to load that site. So you realize that this course site also has its own set of tools. Now each set of tools depend on the site administrator. So that means the site administrator decides which tools are available for you to use. I also said earlier that the home tab acts as a personal workspace for each user, so you can customize your individual home pages. So the tools we'll look at, will start from the home tab and look at some few tools over there. Then for the rest, we'll use a course site to demonstrate how to use some specific tools. The overview tool gives you a general overview of, or a brief introduction to that course. So to the right you have the calendar. So the calendar shows you the various dates with the various activities. So for now here we don't have any yet, so it gives you an overview of activities. Then below that you have an overview of announcements. Then below that you have the messages in your inbox. So these are quick links you can click on to go to those messages. So the way you see them appear here, for announcements you see it appear similarly over here. So that is the overview tab. It gives you an overview of that particular site. Now the next thing we'll look at on the home site is the profile tool. So I navigate to the profile tool. The profile tool, just like your Facebook profile, shows you details about yourself. So information about yourself. So you have your profile picture, which you can change. So you click on change and upload a new profile picture. Then you can add basic information about yourself here. Then you have your contact information, your email. You can edit this information, but for your email, I advise you never to change your email. Your email should remain your student email. You don't put your personal email over there. Should you want to change anything over here, you just have to hit the edit button and type whatever you need to type. So after typing, you hit the save changes button to save the changes you have made. So that is the profile tool. I'll leave the other tabs for you to explore. Then the next tool we'll be looking at over here is the membership tool. So the membership tool gives you a list of the courses you are a member of, or the sites you are a member of. So you can see that my sites are listed over here. Then when you move to the joinable sites tab, you may see a list of sites that you can join. So these are open sites that you can join. So to join a site, you click on join, then you follow the prompts to join that particular site. So that is it for the home site. The rest of the tools will use one of your course sites to demonstrate how to use them. The next tool we are to look at is the announcement tool. Now for this tool, I would like us to navigate to one of the course sites to see how to go about it. So I would love to I'll select this. So I'll select this course, Cisco 101. So we are now in Cisco 101. We'll navigate to the announcements tool. Now, in the announcements tool, you see the list of announcements. So, for example, when an assignment is posted, you may receive announcements in the announcements tool. You also receive these announcements in your student emails. So I also advise that you activate your emails, you log into your student email and check your emails very often so that you don't miss anything you are expected to do. So to read an announcement, all you have to do is click on the subject of the announcement. So I'll click on this. So this opens the details of that announcement for me. So here is just informing us of an assignment we are supposed to take. Now, so if you have more than one announcement, you can navigate through them by using the previous and the next button, or you can use the return to list to go back to the list page where we came from. So that is all about the announcement tool. So these announcements are specific to this particular course. So we also saw the announcements tool on the home site or the home tab. Now, as I said earlier, the home tab is should I say gives you a general overview of all sites. So let's go to the home site and look at the announcement tool over there. You realize that These announcements for this particular course will be there, and that of other courses. So let's go to announcement, sorry, the home tab. And when you go to announcements here, you realize that it has announcements for even other sites. So if you want quick access to your announcements, you can go to your home tab, click on announcements, and you have the announcement for all your course sites over there. But if you want to filter them specific to a particular course, then you have to navigate to that course site to see announcements pertaining only to that course site. All right. The next tool we'll be looking at is the test and quizzes tool. The test and quizzes tool. For the test and quizzes tool, we will be using this course site, Cisco 101. So let's navigate to the test and quizzes. Now, when you select the test and quizzes tool, you have two areas you'll be looking at. So you have the take an assessment, then we have the submitted assessments. I think it's explanatory enough. So to see the tests or quizzes that are available for you to take, you find them here under the take an assessment portion of the page. So what are you supposed to look out for? So you have the title here. So for this test we are taking, we have the title here. You have the time limit. So the time limit tells you how many minutes you have to complete this assessment or this test or quiz. So when you start, you have 10 minutes to complete it. Then we have the due date. So the due date is like the closing date of that assignment. After the closing date, you wouldn't have access to this test anymore. But for this particular test, because it's a demo site, there's no due date. It's open for the time being, but we have 10 minutes to complete it. Then below will be the list of the tests that you have submitted. So you have a list of tests submitted. We'll look at it after submitting this particular test. So let's get right to it. To take the assessment, you click on the title of the assessment. Now it takes you to this page. You need to read the instructions. You must read the instructions to know what to do. I'll show you some things to look out for. So it says what this assessment, you have 10 minutes to complete this assessment. It will be submitted when that time expires. So after 10 minutes, the assessment will close automatically and be submitted, regardless of whether you have answered all the questions. Now the next thing to look out for is here. It says for this assessment is linear, which means you see questions one at a time. So sometimes you may see all the questions on the one page, so you have to scroll down to answer each question. But this one is telling you it's linear, so one question on a page. Then one more thing to look out for, it says what? You will not be able to go back to previous questions after clicking next. So since it's linear, you see one question at a time. So to go to the next question, you click the next button, which we'll see in a short while. Now, because you are not expected to go back to your previous questions, you will not see a previous button. So this depends on the lecturer setting a question. The lecturer may decide that after answering a question, you may not have access to the previous question, so you don't have the previous button. Now, another thing you should look out for, I mentioned it earlier, is that you can submit this assessment an unlimited number of times. So you sometimes have the number of times you can submit an assignment or assessment. So this one is telling us that you may submit unlimited time. Some of them will give you 1, 2, mostly 2. So after submitting it the first time, you have one more chance to submit an assignment. So you have to look out for this so that you know what you are doing. If it's just one attempt, you make sure you put your all into it. Now, in a case where you submit multiple times, how are your scores recorded? So this depends on the discretion of the lecturer. So the lecturer may decide to record your highest score, or record your recent submission, the scores from your recent submission. So you have to read to know what you have to do. So it says what your highest score will be recorded. So if you submit multiple times, your highest score will be automatically picked and recorded. So you look out for these things before you begin an assessment. Now let's take this assessment. Before we continue, we have to click or accept the ANA pledge, which says I will neither give nor receive aid on this assessment. So you are not expected to receive aid or give aid to anybody. So when you are ready, you click on begin assessment. Now when the assessment is opened, you have your timer up here. You can hide or show your timer. Then you have your questions available to you. Now before we start answering the questions, I would like to explain some few more things. So we have several forms of questions you may see on Sakai. I'll mention a few of them. So we have the multiple choice questions. So you have a multiple choice single correct. So that means it's a multiple choice question, all right, but you can only select one correct answer. Then we have multiple choice multiple correct. That means you have to select, or you may select more than one. So you're expected to select more than one answer if it applies. So that is multiple choice multiple correct answer. Now you can see that our timer is almost gone. We have about 1 minute 30 seconds left, so you will get notified very soon. Now we also have true or false kind of questions. Then we have the matching, so you match an answer to an option provided. Then we have the fill in. The fill in is you provide a single answer to a particular question. Then we also have the essay kind of questions. I would take us through all those kinds of questions in our next attempt at this assessment. So I'm going to wait for this to close so that we see what happens when your time runs out. So we have about 10 seconds more. So let's see what happens when your time runs out. So our time is up. The assessment has been closed and is being submitted. So let's wait for it to be submitted. Alright, there was an error submitting the assignment. So this happens sometimes, so it's good it happened here so I can explain. So sometimes there may be internet problems, or maybe whilst you are working on a desktop your light goes off, you don't have a backup power, and during the process your time expires and the assignment gets submitted. So when these things happen, you report to the person in charge of your center, and it will be resolved and you'll be given the chance to retake. So in case this happens, we have ways of reporting. We sometimes put links, or we create tools for reporting issues on Sakai, so you can report those issues through Sakai directly, or as I said earlier, you can talk to anybody in charge. So we'll do this again, this time hopefully no internet problems. So I'll select this. So we had already read the instructions. So let's begin this assessment. Okay, so as I explained earlier, we have various forms of questions. So this first question is a fill-in question. So you provide a single answer. In this kind of cases, you have to make sure your spellings are correct. If it's an abbreviation, you make sure you provide a correct spelling of those abbreviations. So in this case, our answer here is roses are red and violets are blue. Alright, so I hit next. So after providing your answer, you hit the next button to go to the next question. So this question is also a fill-in kind of question. So you provide the correct answer and hit the next button. So provide the correct answer and hit the next button. Now, this also is a kind of fill-in, but it's a story problem. So Kevin has 82 apples, he buys 10 more. Now Kevin has 92, Jane eats 14 apples, Kevin now has dash apples. So in this case, you do your calculation and put the right answer there. If the answer is 5, you put it there. If it's 10, you put it there and you hit the next button. Now, this is also another kind of fill-in question. This is a mathematical question. So to see the instructions, you can click on this. It pops up the things that are allowed over here, the characters that are allowed. So here also, you provide the right answer and click next. So if the answer is 3, you type the answer there and hit the next button. Now, this question is a multiple choice question, but single correct answer. So for single correct answers on Sakai, you see this kind of buttons round. We call them radio buttons. So you select a single correct answer. So if this is your answer, you select and click next. So if you want to change your answer, you change by clicking other ones. Now, before we continue, remember in the instructions, we're told that we can't go back to the previous question. So now, if that clause wasn't there, you will see a button here with the previous written on it. That means you can use that button to go back to a previous question. Now, because this is set such that you can't go back, that is why we don't see the previous button down here. So in other cases, you will see the previous button. So you use that to go to your previous questions. So let's move on. This next question is it's also a multiple choice question, but multiple correct answers. So you select the answers that apply. So for example, so whenever you see this box, we call them the check box, you get the clue that okay, there may be more than one correct answer over there. So you pay attention and make sure you select the correct answers. So as I said, the box may give you a clue that this is a multiple correct answer. So you select the correct answers by checking them. Then you hit the next button. The next question we have here is a true or false kind of question. So you select the correct answer by clicking on the option and hit the next button. Here, what we have here is the matching kind of question. So you match the correct answer to the options given. So how do you go about this? The answers are labeled A, B, C, D, and the list of items are here. So for example, when I take Ghana, this will match the following countries to their capital cities. So the capital city of Ghana is Accra, which is C. So I go for the answer C. So you do that for all of them. So you match them. So Ghana is C, Nigeria is Abuja. So I go for Abuja here is A. So you do that for all of them. Germany is F, Berlin. Italy should be Rome, which is B. So you select the answer for each of them. Then now our time is almost up. So at this stage, you realize that the next button is disabled. You have the submit for grading. So when you get to the last question, you then click on the submit for grading button to submit. So I'll do that right away. Now, at this point, you are not yet done. You have to, it's just giving you an alert that you're about to submit this assignment. So when you're sure of it, if you're not sure, you can click cancel to go back. If you are sure, you hit submit for grading. So now your assessment has been submitted. You can hit return to go back to the list of assessments. So now we have the list of the assessments you've submitted. So you realize the one we just submitted is this. So this 11 p.m. and today's 23rd. This is what we just submitted. We used 10 minutes. So for the other ones, you see the time. So the time used will be here. The time submitted is here. Then because we may have multiple submissions, you have the individual scores for each submission. Then you also have something we call the recorded score. So the recorded score will tell you which of these individual scores is being recorded. So you see it over there. So if in the instruction it says the highest score will be recorded, so after grading this, you see the highest score written over here. Then we have the feedback. So sometimes lecturers will give you feedback on your answer, so you can select the feedback to see what the lecturer has to say about that test. So this is the test and quizzes tool. We've looked at it into details. The next tool we'll be looking at is the gradebook tool. Then we'll be looking at the gradebook tool, so let's move to that. Now the gradebook tool gives you or shows you the grades for the assessments and the assignments you have submitted. So we are now in the gradebook tool. So you see the assessments we just submitted. So this is our grade, 13/17. If there's any comments, you see it here. But since this assignment had no due date, this side is left empty. So this is all about the gradebook tool. The next tool we will look at would be the chat room. So we'll look at the chat room tool. Let's head to the chat room. So the chat room is just a page where you can chat with your lecturers, your teaching assistants, and your colleagues. So here in the chat room, you see your previous chat. So I can type in my message and hit add message. So you can also filter your chats by dates and time, and the by the number of messages you want to see. So this is all about the chat room, and this is how to send messages in the chat room. The next tool I'd like us to look at is the email tool. You can use the email tool to send messages to various groups of people. So assuming I want to send an email to the lecturer of this course, so I'll go to roles. So you select the instructor. So just like any other email to Gmail, Yahoo Mail, everything else it's the same. So you put in your subject. So you type in your subject, you type in your message. So the message goes here. Then you can also attach a file. So you can hit the attach, click on choose file, and select the file and attach it. You can also remove it by clicking on this button. If you want to send a copy to yourself, you check this. Then you send the email. Right, so you send the email. So I'll do that. As I said, you select whoever you want to send the email to. If you want to send it to the teaching assistants, we have groups also there. You can go and send a message to a particular group. So after sending the email, the recipient is listed here for you to see. So that is it about the email tool. The next tool we'll be looking at is the forums tool. So let's head right to it. So this is how the forum tool looks like. So how do you contribute to a forum? Now, to contribute to a forum, you need to open the topic. So first of all, you have to read what exactly you are expected to talk about. So this is a forum topic. So these are forum topics. So this is one, this is another, and this is one. So this is the main topic. We have subtopics too. So you are going to contribute to the subtopics. So to do that, you have to read the full description by clicking this. So it will tell you the full description of that forum. So this topic says my opinion about the Sakai LMS. So let's think aloud. Tell us what you think about this platform. So the full description says, you recently had a 2-day introduction to the Sakai learning management system. In your thoughts, tell us how useful you think this platform will be to you in preparation towards your entrance exams, and how this initiative would affect your life in the years to come, considering what is happening around the world regarding COVID-19. So this is the topic. So to respond to this topic, I'll click on the subtopic. So now I've opened the forum tool. So you see here, it said you must post this topic before you can view any message. So sometimes you may be able to read other people's comments without posting, but for this particular one, you are expected to post before you read. So to post to this topic, you click on start a new conversation. So this page is opened for you to type in your contribution. So you have to give your contribution a title. So I'll give it my thoughts about Sakai. So you put your comment over here. So your comment goes here. So if you're expected to attach any file, you can go to add attachments. We have two places to choose attachments from. So you can go through the resources tool, so you can select attachments from the resources tool, or you can click choose a file and select an attachment and upload. So when the attachment is loaded, you hit on continue. You can also add a link to a website here, so you can place a website here. So when you are done, you hit on continue. If you want to remove a particular attachment, you can hit on remove to remove it. So you can then click on continue to finish up. So we have our contribution and our attachment. Then I hit post. After posting, you can now see your post over here. So if there are other messages or other posts here, you'll see them listed now. So you can just click on it to read the post. So this is how to use the forums tool. The next tool, which is the last tool we'll be looking at, is the lessons tool. For the lessons tool, I'll use a different course site to explain it to you. So I'll go to the Sakai 101 course site to explain tools to you. Sorry, to explain lessons to you. Now, when you open a course site, you may see a list of lesson tools. So we have lessons, lesson 2, lesson 3, lesson 4, lesson 5, lesson 6 in this case. So all this does is it breaks down your sections, the sections you are supposed to go through for a particular course. It breaks them down. So instead of having everything in bulk, it breaks it down in a chronological order, so you know where to move from or where to move to after one particular lesson. So the arrangement here, so for example, after this lessons, the next one I'll go to is this. So from here I'll move to lesson 2, lesson 3, and so forth and so on. So it arranges your sections or your programs for you in a chronological order. What this does is, one, you could see that for lesson 1, the material you are supposed to use is here. So I know that when I'm taking lesson 1, this is the material I need. Then for lesson 1, this is the quiz I'm supposed to take. So the list of activities will also be listed here for you. Then after attempting lesson 1, the next one will be lesson 2. So for this also, this is what is expected of you in lesson 2. So The topic for lesson 2 is creating and updating table of contents. Then you have your overview. Then you have the materials you are supposed to use, the video you are supposed to watch, the assignment you are supposed to take, the quiz you are supposed to take, the forum you are supposed to contribute to, and the chats that you have. So you see that this makes it easier for you to go through your course. You don't have to waste your time trying to figure out where to go from one section to the other. In the simplest form, this is what the lessons tool does. One more thing I would love to show you. For each course, you may be given groups or groups may be created for you to join. So how would you know the groups you belong to in a particular course? So assuming I want to know the group I belong to in this course, so I go to the course page. Then you scroll down to the site info too. Now when you get here, you see the groups you are a member of. So the groups will be listed here. So in this, I'm in group A, group B, group C. In your case, you may be in only one group. So that is how to find out which group you belong to. Now there are other options where you can select to join a group. So we call them joinable groups. So how do you then join a group? So to join a group, I'll go to the course. So I'll select the course where I'm supposed to join the group. I'll go to the sites too. Then here you see the groups that are available. In some cases, the lecturer may allow you to see the members of a group before you join. Other times you may not see the members of the group. So to join a group, I'll just look at the size and the quota. So this is the quota 20. You have 0 members, so that means I can join any of those groups. So I click on join. So now I am part of this group. To see the members of the group, I can click this and you see the list of the members in that group. Now in some cases you have the option to unjoin a group and join a different one. So if you see the unjoin, you can click on it, then you are taken off that group. So now you can select any other group to join, or even join that group back again. So that is how to find your groups and join groups on Sakai. So we've come to the end of this demo. I mentioned earlier that we'll be looking at this from 2 perspectives. So we have seen the desktop view. I'll show you how it looks on the mobile or your smartphones. So I'm going to switch to my smartphone so that we can see how things look like. So now this is my smartphone. So I've opened my browser. I'll navigate to the Sakai page and hit enter. So this is how the interface looks like on a mobile device or a smartphone. So you enter your student's ID and your PIN. and hit login. After logging in, this is what you see. So you see that the interface is a little bit different from the desktop view. So the only things we'll be looking at, the only thing different here will be the menus and the tabs. So your site is located here. So this is your site. You click on it, then it brings up your sites for you. So you have your sites here. So I can close this. Then you have your tools here. So your tools are located here. So this is the only thing different from the desktop view. So any tool you select shows over here. So let me try going to a different course site. So let me go to this course site. So after it loads, I can navigate to the tools by selecting the tools menu over here. So I'll click on the tools menu to bring up the tools. So everything else looks the same except these two menus over here. So now, thank you for your time. This will be the end of this demo. Until next time, bye bye.